Hello everybody, this video is to give you a brief demo on how to use a semi-automated urinalysis machine. This particular machine you're seeing here is made by Siemens. It is called the Clinitech Advantis. It's fairly common in most laboratories that don't have an automated microscopic urinalysis machine. This just does a chemical dipstick for you. It reads the pads as you would read them manually, and it gives you a report out on what it's detecting. So I'm going to give you a brief demo on how this works. So you can see here we have a digital display. It is touchscreen, so you can access all of these by touch. This area here is where you actually load the dipsticks on. This arm bar you see here actually moves the dipstick over and into the machine and feeds it into the actual tray that reads the results. Once the dipstick is entered into the analysis area, it actually goes all the way through, and then once it's read and the results are reported out either through a print, a receipt, or interfaced over to the LAS, the dipsticks get dumped in this receptacle here. So I'm just going to kind of walk you over the overview of how this is used just for patient analysis, and then a separate video I will show you how this machine is actually taken down, cleaned, and then ran with quality control. So for example here, this is where I would be putting in my patient number, my order number for my patient. I'm not actually running a patient that is being done, I'm just giving you a dummy number here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 for this patient sample. You can see these clinical tubes here are very similar to what we use in the lab at Tri-C, so you should be very familiar with this here. And then of course you should also be familiar with these Siemens multi-sticks. If you are using the Siemens analyzer, they do request that you use the Siemens dipstick. It's a brand specific dipstick. That's how they make their money, all right? But so I'm just going to walk you through basically how this works. So my urine sample is already poured into my clinical cup. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and unscrew my dipsticks here as such, so I'm ready to use them. I programmed my 1, 2, 3, 4 test code in there just to run it on that ID. If you have an order number on a patient and a patient sample you're running, you would take this barcode reader right here and scan your barcode of your patient order number, and that would be used to run your sample. That order number would link to our LAS and would take the result over, and once you result everything in tandem, you could result that out, and that would be reported out into the EMR, which is the electronic medical record system for the actual doctors, where they see the results. So I'm going to go ahead and press enter. You can see that moves the arm bar over as such. Once the arm bar is actually over, I can go ahead and take my dipstick here. I can go ahead and dip it in my urine as such, making sure I don't go below the white pad. Bring it up and wring that excess fluid out along the side of the clinical tube. And then I'm going to go ahead and place my urine dipstick on the tray. And the arm is going to move it over. It's going to take it in. It's going to read it. And we will get a printout up here of the results after it's done performing that. It takes about the same amount of time as a manual dipstick read. So, but it does read them more effectively than we could be able to. Obviously this is encased, so there's no light on the dipstick during analysis, so you're getting no interference from outside substances or forces, light, heat, and such. The laboratory is obviously temperature controlled, so we are keeping a environment that allows it to be assayed. Once the chemical analysis is done, this urine tube is then taken over and spun down, just like in the classroom. I'm going to go ahead and cap this urine like we would do. Take it over here, take it into spin, close the lid, and then go ahead and let it run. I'm not going to do a microscopic on this video, I'm just going to show you the chemical analysis. But you guys are aware a microscopic would be done. At Cleveland Clinic, we run a microscopic urinalysis on all urines, whether or not the dipstick and the chemical reactions are negative or positive. Some hospitals will run a microscopic only if the chemical analysis is positive. So depending on where you work, that may change. Now you can see I have some results here already that are printed off. I have the top portion of my results done. I'm waiting for the tests that take a little more time. And I think those just printed off there. So you can see we have our complete chemical analysis here. It read it for all of your normal chemical assays that we've ran in class. And there you go. So in a second video, I'll show you how we take this thing apart and clean it. But that's the general use of it for a patient sample to do a chemical analysis.